Hey guys, so this is the last video in this little offer series, and this is where we kind of like learn how to put it all together into that premium product that you guys can be proud of and charge thousands and thousands for. Okay, there's a difference between like just a high ticket. Um, High ticket usually is, people think of high ticket as like 2,500 all the way up to like 5,000 or so. Like we are talking premium high ticket. Like this isn't just that. This is at least a minimum of $5,000 or $10,000 that you should be able to charge if you get all of these steps right. Okay, so that's why we want to talk about that today. Okay, because what you're going to have is a result that is tangible and intangible. Okay, so you need two separate results. That's the very first thing that you need to write down. Is that you need to know what your tangible result is. Like, is this going to give you more money, more freedom? Like, it has to be something that you can actually experience for yourself for it to be tangible. Are you going to have more time? Or, is things going to, run more smooth? Are you going to lose weight? Are you going to look better? Are you going to feel better? The tangible result is something that your people are going to experience on their own. Okay. And then the intangible is that's where we start getting into more like the transformation that you give them that helps them become a really kind of like a whole different person. And what it does is that it changes the perspective of other people. Like it causes other people to see you at a higher status, that like it elevates your status. When you experience such a transformation that you become something that you did, someone that you didn't think, that you could be, or, someone that you always wanted to be, or something like that, but it causes other people to look at you a little bit different. So it's other people's experience and perception of you that matters in the intangible. Okay, because you don't actually experience it, but other people can see it. They can see that you've changed, they can see that you've grown, they can see that you're different, and they experience you at like a whole different level, because you have basically transformed because of your experience with your offer. Okay, so there's three different things for a minimum viable product. Like you can sell a product that has a roadmap, like we've talked about. We talked about in a previous video. We discussed how to bring that roadmap to life. Write down the steps of the steps. Okay, and then you couple that with tools and resources, like what kind of things that you're gonna package that along with, that's gonna like help them get to their result. Like there's different like tools and resources that you can use. Like a step by step would be like guides and instruction sheets and things like that that you can put with them. And those, here, let me stand on the side. So like SOPs, those are really good step-by-step resources that you can give to people. Done for you tools would be like templates and swipes and tutorials. If you're using like any type of a specific software, like a software that maybe other people aren't sure how to use, you can do tutorials on how exactly to use it. You can do tutorials on exactly how you run through processes in your business. Um, and then you can also do like tools and resources that save time, because time is a very, very, very valuable resource. As a matter of fact, it's like the currency. So like anything like cheat sheets and checklists and things like that that will save someone time, those are the most valuable, because that's what people who have the money to pay for these premium things, they're trying to buy time. That's ultimately almost like what they're buying from you, is they're trying to recover some time. They want kind of like the shortcut. You know, there's a saying that rich people buy time and poor people spend time, and that's really the truth. You know, because when you talk about like organic marketing, like sometimes that takes more time, you know, and it's because you can't afford to spend money on the marketing. And you know, where, you know, people that have money, they go straight to the ads because that's the fastest, they perceive that as the fastest way to get to the result. It's not always true, by the way. It just depends on, you know, the platform and the way you're doing your ads and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of different variables and moving parts in that, but for the most part, though, it really can be true across many industries, that you make more money the more ads that you buy. So that's kind of like one way to look at it, is like they are literally trying to buy time from you. So you do need to do everything that you can to give them their time back. And so you can do that through the step-by-step guides, resources, and the tools that you give them with your premium product. And then we need to kind of talk about this. Chad Thibodeau calls this a syllabus. Until Chad, I had never heard it, you know, really referred to as a syllabus. Julie Stoyan just calls it like a how we work document. Like there's, you know, it can be done in different ways and it can be called different things, but basically, you know, Chad's right, it is kind of a syllabus. So let me explain. Like it comes in like 8 parts, and this has to come with every single product, no matter what. Like every single product you sell, you need to write one of these out, okay? Because this is part of you know, it's just part of what it is, okay? So the 8 parts, number 1 is it needs to describe how to get help if you need some help. Like it needs to tell people like this is what you do if you run into any trouble. It needs to have a schedule and a calendar so that people know exactly when and where to show up, how to show up, what to do to participate, what to expect. The third thing is it needs to tell them what to expect, okay? Like, you know, what exactly is this and what exactly are we doing? Like, you know, in a description, what is it? Like, is this a course? Is this a workshop? Is this a, you know, is this a program? Like, how do you define what this is, you know? And then of course there's an objective. The objective is just basically the result of what this is. The objective is the result of the description. Okay, so what are we trying to accomplish here? Like, what are we doing? All right. And then you need prerequisites. Like, is there anything that they need to know, have, do, or be in order to have success with the program? They need to know that if there's something that is going to help them along or set them up for success. Okay. And number 7, legal disclaimers. You definitely need to have legal disclaimers so that people know about like refunds and privacy policies and stuff like that when they're working with you, because everybody, you have to protect yourself legally. All right. And then the last one is your own expectations. Okay. Like you need to write out your rules, your policies, procedures, contact info, anything, you know, specific to you that you need for people to know in order to be able to participate in the program, okay? So if you only had just your MVP, minimum viable product, that would be your roadmap and your syllabus. So, you know, roadmap and your 2 tangible and intangible results, and then, you know, that syllabus, okay? So that's what you need, all right? And then in order to make it into something that's premium and high ticket, you need to have a couple other things, you know, patched in there. You need to give them an experience. You need to give them a transformation. You need to include bonus items, and you need to package that service, okay, the best way that you can. And that's really what we're going to be talking about, is how to put, you know, all of those together. But we'll just start with the experience, okay? Like the experience that you give is really kind of like, what's the vibe You know, how's what you're doing making them feel? Like, what is it that they're supposed to think? And the way that you can control the experience is by giving like really good customer service. You can include like swag and gifts and things like that. You can make things interactive with like giveaways and contests and stuff. And then you also, there's like, your follow-up game always has to be on point. Like, you know, how are you following up once they're through the program? You know, like, because you need to make sure that they're feeling good even long after the program. Like, they don't feel forgotten. Are you following up with them, and, you know, are you giving them thank you notes? Are you remembering their birthday? And you know what I mean? Like, just little things like that. People notice. Okay, so all of that goes into the experience. So you need to make sure that you're giving them a very, very good experience. Okay, and then the next one is going to be transformation. You need to help them transform with things that they're normally stuck on. Like, you know, sometimes they need extra support for motivation or mindset issues. Sometimes it's like they have a lot of fear. And so you need to help them become someone who is past all of those things. Like, you need to help them transform into a person who can be successful, who can be well respected, who can make a lot of money, who can lose a lot of weight, who can look and feel good. Like, you have to help them with that transformation. Like, and the better that you can support the transformation and help them picture it, the better you're going to be. So you need to be, you know, your offer needs to include, you know, something that is going to help them along with that. And that's where bonus items, which is the next one, your bonus items, that's where those come in, because you're going to use the bonus items to, number one, handle objections. You know, think of like, what objections are they going to have, and then like, create products or services or something, or, you know, add-ons or whatever that will help them say yes despite, you know, these objections, that will help just kind of like wipe those out, and then also support that transformation that they have to have. Okay, like they have to have the transformation. If they can't picture themselves being better than, you know, before, they're, what are you selling them, you know? So that's really about about it for that, you know. And then the very last one is the package services. Okay, so what you need to understand is that you have one major job. Like, if you're a coach, you are a coach, but you can also be a consultant. You see, because a coach kind of like, they assess talent and they help people kind of become a better version of themselves. But a consultant kind of like, you know, they'll assess like what the current reality is, and help them like just kind of prescribe, almost like a doctor. A consultant's almost like a specialist or something that will help them, you know, see that this is what they need to do, you know, to tell them, hey, this is where you're at, and this is how we get past that. Okay, and they're more analytical, and they use, you know, a lot of data and things like that, where, you know, the coaches is a lot different. Now, there's a lot of people who think that they're the same thing, and they are not. So if you can combine your coaching program with consulting or teaching, which is where, you know, you can teach courses and things. You can be an implementer, where like, if there's things that you can do for them to help them along, then you're an implementer. Then you can be a strategist. A strategist is somebody who basically like gives like a little roadmap to the solution. So there's different services that you can package in with what you got. And you know, the biggest thing that you can do is, you know, coach, consultant, you know, you can put all these together. But it only gets tricky when you start, you know, implementing things for people, because that takes more of your time. It's a little bit more time heavy. But the biggest thing is that you have to be able to articulate that, you know, this is something separate. Okay, and a lot of coaches are not good at this. They're not good at saying, you know, letting people know that, hey, I'm a coach, but I can do this, because that's what's kind of causing people to like lump things together, and then they have unrealistic expectations of coaches and things like that. So because they think a coach is supposed to do all these things, they're supposed to know how to teach people and stuff, and like some of us just really suck at teaching. I'm one that I'm not 100% confident in my teaching skills, but I do my best, just because I know that that's what you guys need, and I don't really know anyone other than me that can teach the things that I specifically know. So it's just something that I have to just get better with over time, and really that's about it. So the only thing, really that I want you to understand about these high ticket things is that when you start working with the value ladder, you're going to start at the very top of the value ladder. When you sell, you're not going to be, you need somebody to take that lead magnet, to be able to kind of bring them into your world and all that. But you also need at least one-on-one client per month, like at least one, or your business is never going to flourish. So you need to flip your value ladder, and instead of worrying about all the people at the bottom, you need to worry about finding one person every single month to charge them at least $10,000. If you have really good targeting, maybe you can go up to $20,000 a month for one. If you're on point with your targeting and you're really good with putting yourself out there and following up, and being able to articulate what it is you can do for people, then you can do better than that. But just as a baseline, you should be able to get one client a month for $10,000. If you spent all month long, that's just one client. Like, stop trying to you really can't build a business when you're starting out looking for 500 people to buy a $7 product. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's just not going to work. It's not going to work out for you. You need one person to buy a $10,000 product, okay? Because, it buys margin. It buys your margin, because you're only looking for one person each month, and that way you have plenty of time that you can over deliver for that person. You're not going to run into burnout and all of that, because you've got plenty of time to sit down, build a tribe, be with your people, and not be worrying about constantly trying to implement and finding new clients. You're going to reach your goals faster. And the thing is, one thing that I would add into that too is that when you target people with money, you get better clients. Okay, you end up with people who are just better to work with, because broke people are argumentative people. Broke people are people who don't want to implement. They don't want to do the work. They want to blame everything on you, instead of looking at themselves and saying, I needed to change this or that. Okay, so you really have to watch that when you're working with people that don't have money, and they haven't normalized money yet. They don't know how to make money. That those are the type of people who they don't see working with a coach or a consultant as an investment. They see it as an expense, and that is bad. Like, if you have anybody who kind of looks at you, at what you're doing and your offer, as being an expense, then run far away. Like, you don't take on a client like that. Please, please, please don't, because you'll probably end up with them dissatisfied for whatever reason, and if they don't get a refund or a chargeback or whatever, then they're probably going to run your name into the ground, and it's probably going to be ugly. So, to say the least. But the big thing is, though, really, like, it's being able to charge a lot. It gives you a lot more credibility, because people don't want, they really don't want the cheapest. Good clients do not want the cheapest. Okay, they want the best. And so they're not worried about how much you're charging. They're worried about, can you get the job done? So, nobody wants the reputation for being the cheapest, because it makes your services look like the cheapest, and it gives you the worst clients on the planet to work with. And people who are in the industry, people like we know this, like we can see this. I see people who are saying, you know, I charge $500 a month, you know, for a client, and I kind of facepalm because I'm like, you, like I can look at you and just know what you're struggling with because I know who you're attracting. I know who you're attracting, and they're not people that you need to be working with. So so I just wanted to get all that cleared up. And if you have any questions on how to package your minimum viable product and then use it to create a premium product that has both a tangible and intangible result, please let me know.